Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Letitia and this is That's So Letitia. I almost feel like every time I do that intro that I should be saying
thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm David Ruffin and these are the Temptations.
But who are my temptations? I guess my makeup brushes, right? Anyway, so for today's video, what we will be doing is a smoky eye. We're actually going to do two smoky eyes, which is why I already have my base, because I just want to get dead off into the eyeshadow portion. However, this is not going to be your mom black cold eyeshadow, very over the top, dramatic, traditional smoky eye that, you know, a lot of us tend to only think can be done as a smoky eye. You basically can use any shade out there to become a smoky eye. And you can take that from daytime all the way to night glam, to full on like ballroom party glam. It's all in a way you blend it, and it's all in the way that you actually apply the rest of your makeup as well. As you guys always know, at least on my videos, one of the first things I like to do to prepare myself for eyeshadow is use a eyeshadow primer. To me, it is imperative to use one. It helps to blend the eyeshadow properly. It helps the eyeshadow actually stay put. So the eyelid primer or eyeshadow primer that I am pretty much using at this moment in time is by NYX. And this is their professional makeup eyeshadow primer. So I will be applying that. I am going to reserve one eye for more of a daytime kind of neutral toned smoky eye, and then the other is going to be more or less a bright pop of color, also for daytime, and you can transition it into nighttime just depending on how you do your lip. Okay, so before we actually do that, one other thing that I want to mention: in order to pull this look off, or honestly any eyeshadow look properly anyway, you have to have a good set of brushes. It's all in how you blend. And I know there's so many brushes on the market that one can get overwhelmed and assume that you need all the brushes, when in actuality, you really don't. So in a lot of my videos, I tend to use brushes by a brand called Eco Tool. This is not sponsored, but they are a favorite brush brand of mine at the moment. And this is the reason why. So these are my two Eco Tool brushes that I'm going to use. They both serve a dual purpose, which is fantastic. And the reason it's fantastic is because if you have a limited amount of storage, a limited amount of space, you don't want to necessarily invest in a huge makeup brush kit, these you can get. They're very pocket friendly, and they have two separate brush heads on each brush, or on each stem. So the brushes that I'm going to be using for this look, and I recommend using these sorts of brushes for any of your eyeshadow looks. This one is going to be my actual shade brush, which is slightly firm. It's enough to pick up the pigment and place it down firmly where you need it to be. And then this one is our shade brush, or I'm sorry, our blend brush. So this one, it's a little bit more flexible, giving you room to move the product around freely as you see fit, okay? For the first eye, what we are going to do is use one of my just favorite palettes, just period. No introduction needed. This is the Jackie Aina and Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. And for this one, we are actually going to do more of a colorful look. And I think because of that, I need to lay a little bit of loose pressed powder under the eye in case there's any fallout. And for that, I'm just going to use Laura Mercier, and it's going to be in Honey. Just lay a little extra down there. For our more bold eye that we're going to do, the transition color also comes in handy because the transition color you actually can use to blend into your dominant smoky eye color, kind of making it melt into it, so to speak, so you don't have any sort of harsh lines and it looks seamless. So for that one, we will be using the shade here, which is called Edges, and I'm going to mix that with Ginger, which is this color here. And I'm just going to apply that lightly, sweeping it across the top portion, basically almost touching my brow, but not quite. And for our actual shade color to use, it's actually going to be a purple. And it is a purple matte, and it's called Big Wig, which is this shade here. And for that, I am going to grab my shade brush, put the shade brush into Big Wig, and you don't have to apply it all at once because you don't want a lot of fallout, especially if you've already done your foundation, which I have. So we are just going to start in layers applying Big Wig. And we are going to apply that. I will say you want the brunt of it starting down towards the actual lid space, and as you get closer to your crease, you want it to become not as prominent, because that is going to be the area that you are actually going to marry your transition shade and your dominant shade. So since we have a decent amount of Big Wig, I'm going to grab my blend brush, go into Ginger, dab very lightly, and then we are going to begin to blend out Big Wig, but begin to blend it out only where the two would meet, such as the transition shade and your dominant shade. Everything that is closer to the lid, we want to leave as bold and prominent as possible. And we're just basically blending the two together. honestly, if I wanted to, I could pretty much stop there. I mean, it's honestly that easy. A light hand, the correct brushes, a patient hand, and honestly, 3-4 minutes tops each eye, and you would be good to go. This look is good, but I'm gonna blend just a little bit more. This look is good for those of us who you may not be feeling up to, doing a intricate eye look. Even if you have the ability, if you have that expertise, that talent to do it, you may not be feeling good that day, such as myself. Today is just not that day for me. But I know that I have to venture outside of my home to get things done, and I want to look polished. I want to look presentable. Don't necessarily need the world to know that I'm not feeling well. So since our blend is perfect up top, I'm going to now transition my makeup brush to the opposite side, which is why I said I love these brushes, because they're dual purpose. And I'm going to use the smudge portion of the brush. It's firm, the bristles are not as long, and it gives you a precise application for applying your shadow up underneath your eye. And for that one, because we're sticking with the same shade, we are going to go back into Big Wig. So I'm just going to grab product from Big Wig. Now I'm going to get my mirror, per usual. And I'm going to begin to apply it to the under eye area. And this is where you can get fun with it. Is this a daytime smoky eye? If so, go light on applying it to your lower lid so as to not smoke it out too dramatic, unless that's your thing. But if this is nighttime, then you can just go dead off into it and just make it as smoky and as dramatic as you possibly want to. And I'm going to transition back up top using the blend portion of the brush. And just to kind of soften that out just a tad bit, I'm going to go back into Ginger and tap off any excess and just slowly and very carefully go beneath Big Wig, under the eye. And this also kind of helps to remove any sort of fallout from the previous shade. Let me just do that. Moving on to our now traditional smoky eyed. For that look, I'm going to be using the Nude Rich palette, and this is by Huda Beauty. So I'm just going to pop this bad boy open. We will be using the same two brushes, starting with our blend brush, which is this guy here. We will be using this matte here. And again, we will be taking it up, almost touching the brow bone. or I'm sorry, the brow, but not quite. Now for this one, this would be more of a neutral that you can pretty much get up in the morning and do if you have to run to the store, if you're, you know, if you have 10 or 15 minutes to spare before you have to, you know, leave out to go to a meeting, go to work, go to the doctor. This is one of those eyes that you can definitely pull off and still look polished and pulled together. So we have that, and we brought it all the way down to the crease area. I am now going to use my shade brush, this shade here. I'm going to pack some of that into my brush. And again, you don't have to do it all at once. You can take your time and build on it. This one is extremely pigmented. Do you see that? So we won't have to do layers with this one unless you absolutely want to. And we're going to bring it all the way down to our lid. Right where the lid meets your eyelashes. Going back in with our shade brush, we are going to go back into our transition shade a little bit. And then we're just going to begin to blend outward to marry the two shades together. Okay, and just like our more glammed up eye, we are going to use the same shade below. Again, using my smudge brush, I will be going back into the color that we used up top, dabbing off any excess, and very gently, very lightly sweeping it across the lower lash line. I know it looks a little awkward, right? So I applied my lashes off camera, and I actually used the same lashes. I just positioned them different on each eye to give more of a either neutral or dramatic effect. The lashes that I used were Ardell 3D Faux Minx, and again, it's the same on both eyes. You can even kind of just use mascara with your lashes alone on the daytime smoky eye if you wish, but I know me, I was blessed in many areas of my life, but when they gave out lashes and eyebrows, God was like, she don't need all that. She'll learn how to apply some extra at a later time. So I need lashes. That's why I have them on, even on this eye. And regarding my lip, so for the entire lip, I applied MAC Chestnut lip liner, and I used Dose of Colors Cork Liquid Matte Lipstick. The only difference is because on this side it's more neutral for daytime, and over here you kind of get like a little party going on, a little party situation. I applied on top some Opulust and Lavendering by McGrath just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. And regarding the blush is by Juvia's Place. It is their Saharan Blush Volume 2, I believe I used. Keep in mind, guys, what I said about the Ego Tools makeup brushes. Many of them serve a dual purpose. I know you can get them at everywhere from Ulta. They don't sell them at Sephora. They have them at Ulta. They even have them at like some grocery stores. I think I saw them at like Mariano's, Meijer. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm kind of Midwest right now. So those are the grocery stores in this area. Walgreens definitely has them. CVS has them as well. So check them out, they're cheap. You know, they last long and they help you do all of this, right? So who wouldn't want them? And as always, in the description box below, I will put a link to everything that I use to achieve these looks. So guys, until next time, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, come on in. You definitely are welcome. You are welcome here. This is a safe space, I promise. And yeah, so guys, enjoy some more footage and we shall chat in the comment box.